Hey everyone, how's it going? I have had a bunch of times where I have been paralyzed and kind of stuck, either by fear or uncertainty. I'm just not sure if I'm making the right move. So you start overthinking, and if you start overthinking, then you wind up kind of doing nothing. And that never really leads to where you want to be. So in this video, I'm going to show you 4 methods of mine that I use to find clarity. One of the first things that I do when I am looking to find clarity is to create time for myself. Essentially, when we are working and when we are running around putting in so much effort for things that are not us, then if you haven't noticed, you usually feel bad, even if you're doing good, maybe at work, you don't feel good. Also, when you make time for yourself, you get to audit and see, is the time that you're spending now doing the things that you don't want to do, or you have inconsistencies with, like, is that the thing that you actually want to be doing? Is how you're living on a weekly basis the way that you actually want to be living? And if it's not, then this is you taking a step back and changing little things here and there to make it how you would want to live your life on a regular basis. Step number 2 is that I would be kind to myself. And what I mean by that is I would respect where I'm at now and respect the work that I have put in to get to where I am now, and also really try not to beat myself up so much along the way. So there've been so many times where we think that we're just not good enough, or can we even do it, or why don't I have this yet? And for me specifically, that happened a bunch of times. I didn't give myself the credit. I didn't give myself the acknowledgement that, look, you have worked already so much, and it just takes a little bit more work. It just takes a bit more. All right, you're not there because you don't deserve to be there yet. You need to fill in the blank, and let's work hard until we fill in that blank. And then that's what happens over and over again until we get there. But until we get there, don't beat yourself up so much overly every single week or every other day, just because you're not where you want to be at. It's a process. And like Gary Vee always says, you need to fall in love with the process, but sometimes that is just super irritating. Sometimes you want to just punch the process in the face, and that is just very real. Number 3, I remind myself of what is important to me. There's so many times where we get stuck and caught up in just the day-to-day. We forget about what's really important. So it's important to, once in a while, just sit down and look in the mirror. You could do some mirror work, and reflect on, what is it do I want? What do you want? What do you really want? Life can be really complicated, and a lot of the time it's because we overcomplicate things. Maybe what's really important to you isn't spending 5 more hours at your job per week. Or maybe it's something that you haven't been doing. Maybe it's been something that you've been depriving yourself of. Maybe it's something you've been scared to do, scared to try. Maybe it's someone that you're looking to reconnect with. Or maybe it's someone that you're looking to lose connections with. Like, you have to decide what's important to you, and you have to make a decision as to what you need to do that brings you closer to that. Because honestly, it's your life. A lot of people pretend that their life is driven by all these external factors, and like what's happening at work, and what my parents told me this, or my family needs that. Like, you can become strong enough and efficient enough to provide for what you need to provide for, but also make yourself a sane person at the same time. But that's the third point. Take a step back and ask yourself, what do I really want? And be honest about that. Reflect on it until you have a concise answer that you can move towards. My 4th step is to challenge myself. I think it is a great idea to take yourself out of your comfort zone by giving yourself some controlled adversity. So then you are pushed a little bit, out of your comfort zone, out of your limits. You can test yourself as to what you're good at, what you're not good at, and then figure out the way to get to the next level. I do that through martial arts, and I do that through video games also. And I do that through interesting conversations with people, respectful conversations with people, just with different perspectives. And I'm always looking to learn something and see what I could do and what I could add to my repertoire that I didn't have before. And that really, I love that a lot. I used to play chess as a kid, and not too competitively, but I've always enjoyed it. Um, and as I practiced martial arts throughout my entire life, I would get either sparring somebody, I would win or I would lose, and I would learn something. And I love the grow, the growth that you get, um, and it's really insightful. And I think a lot of us can do more of that. Challenge ourselves a little bit more by laying out what needs to be done, tasting different things that are outside of your comfort zone, so then you become more skilled and you get to build in the direction where you're trying to go. These were 4 ways on how I find clarity when I'm feeling frustrated, complacent, or stuck. To give them to you one more time, they are to create time for yourself, be kind to yourself, remind yourself of what's important, and challenge yourself. Do these to get yourself out of your funk and to keep on moving forward.